All right, here we are. News for Wednesday, November 19th. The link, of course, you can go to AI Smart Insiders and click on the news there, and then also subscribe to get our newsletter every week. So Nicole is still in Turkey in Istanbul. There's a little bit about the event she was attending. They talked a lot about SEO, GEO, AIO. There's a lot of buzzwords going around for that right now. And we will talk more about that later on in the newsletter. So there's some pictures on some of her adventures while she's been there, including all the cats that she's seen around Turkey. And yeah, we'll just get into it. So ChatGPT, we talked a little bit last week about this, introduced Pulse, which basically gives you insights on things you should work on or things you should do based on the content you've already created. Especially if you are connecting your Google Drive, any of the integrations you can do, the more it knows, the better insights it can give you. So we did a little bit of a show and tell on that last week. That video is on our YouTube channel, but you can read more about it in this article here. But what we really liked about it is sort of the forward thinking of not you going to AI and asking the questions, but AI telling you, hey, you did this, I don't know, PDF guide download, and now you should do a nurture sequence for the people that downloaded, and here's what it should be. And also, you should track them in your CRM and tag them in this way. Like it was quite thorough. So I think this is going to be a really good addition to the things that ChatGPT offers. And then the idea of the AI SEO, GEO, AIO, and how it affects even large companies, in this case, Rolling Stone, and many other companies focus on what they think people want to hear or are talking about. And we've got some new tools that can tell you exactly what people are querying. So, what questions they're asking, how many times they're asking is a little like Google Analytics, but it's different because this is in AI. So, LLMs and what people are asking ChatGPT and the other LLMs, and the information they're being served, and how you can be a part of that. We have, again, we have a special tool that can help with this, and we're offering a free mini report for that. So there's some instructions in this article on how to do that. You just email Nicole at AI Smart Ventures and then mention the free mini AI SEO report, and you can get a sample of that for your company. It's a really great tool. We've been using it so far, and it helps you build content really fast, not just content, but content that your audience is searching for. Some more in the medical sector, um, helping AI helping medical documents stay organized. And this is specifically in a Montana hospital. So documentation for reviews, patient care workflows, like all of these different ways that AI is being used on an organization level. So it's not always that AI is going to be your doctor, but AI is helping your doctor. And that could be with admin, like in this case, patient workflow. So, kind of like how you onboard a client, like onboarding patients, what to do next, what appointments they have, if their appointment gets canceled, all of these things, these administrative tasks can be automated. And that's what they're looking at this hospital in Montana. And they're already seeing some help having there, and quality improvement. And like everyone, especially healthcare, they're always under that pressure to do more with less. So that's really helping them there. And MIT has figured out a framework they've called SEAL that helps AI models um, absorb information, learn information, create study guides for information. So it's a way to train AI as it's learning new information, which sounds very meta, right? But instead of them having to take a bunch of time to train the LLMs on these larger pieces of knowledge, they are figuring out ways to train it while also training it to um, keep the information, and then also what was the best way it was able to absorb that information? What's the best organization? What did it read first? Like all of these things, I think, are included in this SEAL framework. Um, so it's interesting because it takes another step out of the learning process for AI. I know when we first started hearing about LLMs and, everything's going to be taken over, like this is just another example of no, it can't be. We have to teach it how to do things. So we're even in this case, while we're giving it information, we're teaching it how to absorb the information. So that's kind of an interesting look at that. And you can find out more about that in the link here on what exactly SEAL stands for and what is included in that. More regulations in the US. It says several states moving forward with rules around AI transparency, data governance, and safety testing. And these are all things that we've talked about every week and will continue to talk about. That's why we have an internal and an external AI use policy. These are all going to be part of everybody's daily lives and business, and could be smart. It would be smart to pay attention to this on a personal level as well, because you don't want your information out there for people to get to. And there's a little more information about California in particular here. You can read more about that. Always a good idea to know the settings on personal and business accounts so that you know what you are actually offering up to the LLM, or people using it. And then we get into a little bit on the industrial side, some industry specific AI sectors like manufacturing and utilities. They are applying AI into their systems, and they're already seeing improved uptimes, learning schedules are getting better, and a major efficiency gain. So there's a lot they're doing already. Let's see, on our take, industrial operations thrive on AI that deeply understands your specific environment. If your organization relies on physical equipment, field teams, or complex supply chains, vertical AI solutions like these often can deliver stronger and faster wins than they used to be able to. If you don't implement this new tech, your competition probably will, and you'll be left behind, for lack of a better word. Um, don't sleep on this one, but anytime you can bring AI, especially into industry specific areas, it's a good idea. And in this case, they're focused on tools, logistics, maintenance, asset management, et cetera. And you can find out more about how this particular company, IFS, is doing that. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the AI Your Ops course, which is our 4-week course that we do, where we teach you how to take some of your tasks and processes and create actual automations for them and workflows. So it's a 4-week course. It's we split it out for our 4D framework, which is define, design, develop, and deploy. So by the end of the 4 weeks, you have a automation to turn on. So this can be, we call it AI for operations because it can be for a lot of things. Could be for sales, could be for customer service, could be marketing, could be accounting, could be invoicing. I mean, the ideas are endless, but basically by the end of the 4-week program, you know how to turn an automation on, and then you can apply that framework to other automations. But it's a really fun class, and there's a forum to sign up if you're interested. It's been a really popular for us this year because in the beginning, everybody wanted to learn about tools, but now it's about getting those tools to work for you. And what better way than without you actually having to use the tools? And then our applied AI class, we're going to do another cohort for 2026. There is, I believe it's a wait list or a sign up form on here. And this is a 10-week course where we take you through practical training, which means we don't just teach you how to use tools, we teach you context of the tools. So, for instance, if you are creating an email newsletter, we show you how to do that, but we show you in a way that it doesn't matter what tool you're using. You could be using ChatGPT, you could be using Claude, Gemini, etc. It doesn't matter. It's not tool agnostic. So any of the skills you learn in this class, you can take with you to any of the tools, because as you know, there's 40,000 plus AI tools currently out there, and we can't teach them all. So we go through a certain group of tools and mostly having to do with small business capabilities for teams, especially in different countries, and we can recommend for your team specifically what tools you should use. And then our helpful tools of the week, Ideogram, which is an image generation tool, Opus Clips, which helps you take long form video and chop it up into shorter videos. Not only does it do that, but it sort of tells you, it gives you captions, plus it tells you, it grades them. So it says, okay, this one's likely to do better than this one. And I think it's like 1 through 100 is the grading. And so you get a whole selection and you can pick from the clips what you want to use. And then Fixer is one of the note-taking tools we use. And yes, I say one of them because we also use Read, but we really like Fixer. And even just today, we did not record a meeting, but it was recorded on our secondary tool, Fixer, so that saved us. So yeah, we recommend checking out Fixer. It also connects into your inbox and can help you with tasks. GenSpark is another tool we looked at last week, and I think I actually have it up here. Yep. It's the first really I have seen that is prompt to actual formatting of different pieces. So, for instance, yes, you can go to any of these and get a table or get a bunch of text, but until this time, there hasn't really been a tool that can say create a flyer for you or a poster or whatever it is. And this GenSpark is something we found maybe a week ago. And so we just started playing with it, but like in the designer area that you'll see here, there's a whole bunch of different things you can choose from. And I have built, simple social media things. So you just go in here and pick which one you like. And then what you can do is tell it exactly what you want it to say. The other thing I did test was putting, for instance, our website in here and then just telling it to create this same vibe using the information from our website. And of course, you could say this particular product, like whatever it is, but in my test, it worked really well. It was able to go to the website, pull off the information and the wording we used. And yeah, so that's really, I think, promising, especially on the design level, um, because there's, a bunch of different things you can design, even merch that you could do. So yeah, GenSpark, and it's free, but you only get a certain amount of credits on the free plan, and it runs out pretty quick. But I don't think the pricing was too crazy. So